It's rare to find women who have dared to defy gravity and conquer the skies without fear. Definitely the act of performing aerial combats effortlessly, executing daring maneuvers, and leaving a lasting impact in the cockpits of formidable fighters is not an easy feat. The courage, skill, and determination to continue to inspire future generations, challenge stereotypes, and reshape the narrative of what is possible for women in aviation. As we step into Women's History Month, let's dedicate time to honor the remarkable achievements of one specific woman in aviation. Who is this woman that has defied all odds? What are the capabilities of the fighter she piloted? Join us as we embark on the fascinating and intriguing story of the glass ceiling breaker, Shawna Rochelle Kimbrell, and her F-16 Fighting Falcon. The formative years of the brave Shawna Rochelle Kimbrell. Lieutenant Colonel Shawna Rochelle Kimbrell is the very first African-American woman to be a fighter pilot in the U.S. military. She currently serves in the U.S. Air Force with the rank of Lieutenant Colonel. She flew the F-16 Fighting Falcon during Operation Northern Watch in northern Iraq. She works at Nellis Air Force Base and is part of the 78th Attack Squadron. At the base, she is a pilot for the MQ-9 and also leads missions. Before her achievement, she had a normal American childhood. Kimbrell was born in Lafayette, Indiana, and is the youngest of 4 kids. Her parents moved to the United States from Guyana for education opportunities before they started their family. Her dad, a tenacious and hardworking man, received his first degree from Howard University while caring for his family. He eventually received a doctorate from Purdue University. His hard work led the family to Parker, Colorado, which is where they raised their family. His achievements definitely set the pace for his children's accomplishments. It was obvious that education and attaining goals was a big deal for this family. So it's not far-fetched that Kimbrell and her 3 other siblings spent their school years in Parker with their different dreams and aspirations. Education was the thing that opened doors, Kimbrell said. If you got your education, you could do whatever you wanted to do. That was how our house was run. From a very young age, Kimbrell showed early signs to be goal-oriented. She wanted to be an astronaut and even wrote a letter to NASA. However, as she got older, her attention shifted into something she found more exciting. After learning about what being an astronaut entailed, she realized it was not as exciting as she thought. In an interview, she explained that she wanted to focus on something she could do every day, instead of seldomly, like traveling to the moon. She stated that a journey to the moon would have been amazing, but it was not enticing because she could not do it every day. She made the decision to become a fighter pilot in the 4th grade. To achieve this, she had her first pilot lesson at the age of 14, joined the Civil Air Patrol, and worked at air shows. She even went as far as obtaining her pilot's license while in high school. After all these stages, she was eventually accepted into the Air Force Academy in spite of people trying to invalidate her dream because she was a child. Kimbrell recounted people trying to dissuade her from forging ahead with the process of achieving her dream of becoming a fighter pilot because she was a female. When we say this is a man's world, we mean it. There have only been a couple female pilots. She was determined to be the first African-American woman to be a fighter pilot. In an interview, Kimbrell said, "I think what kept me on the straight and narrow is that I didn't give myself any other options. I didn't think about a backup plan. I didn't think about what if it doesn't work out plan. I think sometimes you lull yourself into thinking, okay, I have that plan, and if it gets hard, I'll go to the backup plan." She added, "If you don't have it, you push through." Despite a series of discouragements, she stayed focused because she didn't see herself doing anything other than that. She never considered a backup plan or had deep thoughts concerning what she would do if things didn't work out in the long run. According to Kimbrell, not having a plan to fall back on was a driving force, and it made her push through. Overcoming many challenges, she graduated from the academy in 1998 and was immediately accepted into pilot training with the Air Force. When she reflected on her journey to be a fighter pilot, she noted that she was always in a competition with herself, striving to improve and exceed expectations. She experienced tough times and several setbacks on her journey, but she never doubted that she could make it through. Her journey has become a source of motivation to women who once believed that their accomplishments were limited due to their sex. According to her, it was during those tough moments that she learned to be humble and to recognize that everyone, no matter how strong, would always need help. The sooner one seeks it out, the better. Her strive for excellence in the face of challenges. Kimbrell went to pilot training at Laughlin Air Force Base in Texas. She received her commission in 1998. After graduating from the Air Force Academy, she earned the coveted pilot wings in August of 1999. She never relented in her search for perfection. She participated in more training at Randolph Air Force Base in Texas in the fall of 1999. In August of 2000, she completed her initial F-16 training at Luke Air Force Base in Arizona, becoming the first African-American female fighter pilot in U.S. history. Once she finished her training, she was assigned to the 13th Fighter Squadron in Misawa, Japan. During this period, she went to Turkey and Saudi Arabia for the Operation Northern and Southern Watch, respectively. This made her the first female pilot to fly combat missions for Misawa's 35th Fighter Wing. During Operation Northern Watch, she became the first African-American female pilot to use weapons in combat. Reflecting on those missions, Kimbrell mentioned that on missions in Operation Northern Watch is when she came to realize that this was war and lives were at stake. The enemy didn't care that she was a female. They wanted to kill her, and it was a reality check for her to be fired upon while airborne. In July of 2004, she completed the Joint Fire Control course and was assigned to the 15th Air Support Operations Squadron. She also went on a mission as the 2nd Brigade Air Liaison Officer to support Operation Iraqi Freedom. Throughout the years, Kimbrell has always taken time to speak with children, especially underprivileged kids. She speaks about dreaming big, being able to become whatever you want as long as you work hard and don't give up. She speaks about not being all that special and that anyone can accomplish what she did. Kimbrell shared that she always saw the spark of hope in kids' eyes when she talked to them, and they realized that they could dare to dream big and even do something as cool as being a fighter pilot. In her interviews, she always laid emphasis on the importance of education, which was instilled in her by her parents. However, she also tries to show both kids and adults that achieving those big dreams, regardless of age or appearance, begins with setting goals. She uses the analogy of building a road to explain this concept. Building a road is tough if there's no destination in mind. Many people have goals, but don't think about them clearly. If a goal is truly one's final destination, one would need to consider the path to take, how to construct that road, and what steps one has to take to achieve it. She further clarified that it would not be an easy journey. There would be obstacles, and they might encounter people who wouldn't want them to succeed. However, the inner desire to accomplish that goal would always be a guide, as it was for Kimbrell on her journey on becoming the first African-American woman to fly the magnificent F-16 Fighting Falcon. Let's dive into that beautiful jet, shall we? The F-16 is a single-engine, supersonic fighter plane designed for various roles in the military. It's smaller and lighter than older models, but uses advanced aerodynamics and avionics, including the first relaxed static stability fly-by-wire flight control system to perform better in maneuvers. It was created for the United States Air Force by the weapon company known as General Dynamics. It is highly agile and the first purpose-built fighter to handle 9G maneuvers. It can reach speeds of just over Mach 2. That is almost 1,500 miles per hour. Its unique features include a frameless canopy for better visibility, a side-mounted control stick, and a reclined seat to reduce the effects of G-forces on the pilot. Armed with an internal M61 Vulcan cannon, it can carry various missiles, bombs, and pods. Its thrust-to-weight ratio is greater than 1, providing the power needed for climbing and vertical acceleration. This fighter jet was initially designated for flying in the daytime and engaging in combat. Over time, it became a force to be reckoned with. It can now fly at any time of day, regardless of the weather. Since its development in 1976, more than 4,600 of these fighters have been produced. Even though the United States Air Force does not purchase the F-16 anymore, they are still upgrading its features to sell to other countries. In 1993, the company that was in charge of developing these aircraft sold its business to the Lockheed Corporation. The F-16 was designed to last for 4,000 flight hours and handle forces of 7.33 Gs with 80% fuel inside. The engineers at General Dynamics decided to make it even stronger. They upgraded it to last for 8,000 flight hours and handle forces of 9 Gs, even with a full tank of fuel. Talk about power. Taking a look at the cockpit of this impressive fighter jet. The F-16's cockpit has a unique design for better visibility. Its bird-proof canopy offers a full 360-degree view, allowing the pilot to see 40 degrees down the side and even 15 degrees over the nose, unlike previous aircraft with a common 12 to 13-degree view. The elevated seat and the absence of a forward bow frame enhance forward vision. The reclined ACES II ejection seat sits at a 30-degree angle, compared to the usual 13 to 15 degrees in other jets. It can accommodate taller pilots and improves the G-force tolerance, although it has been linked to reports of neck discomfort. Newer U.S. fighters use less extreme tilt-back angles of 20 degrees. Due to the seat angle and thick canopy, the ejection seat lacks canopy breakers and the entire canopy is jettisoned before ejection. The pilot can direct the F-16 by making use of a side-stick controller and a throttle with foot pedals for steering. In order to make things easier for the pilot when making intense maneuvers, buttons and controls are placed on both the side stick, which sends signals to the aircraft system, and adjusts the control surface for better maneuvering. Initially, when the side stick was placed, it caused major discomfort for the pilots. It was eventually replaced and modified to allow slight movements. The design of having controls on both the stick and the throttle, also referred to as HOTAS or HOTAS, was first featured in the F-16, but it eventually became a common feature in all advanced fighter jets. Armaments that contribute to the lethalness of the Fighting Falcon. Early F-16s could carry up to 6 short-range heat-seeking missiles, using launchers on each wingtip. They also had radar-guided medium-range missiles in their mix. Newer versions use the AIM-120 AMRAAM, often placed on wingtips to reduce wing flutter. The fighter jet can carry various air-to-air and air-to-ground weapons, rockets, and bombs. It also carries electronic countermeasures, navigation systems, targeting equipment, or fuel tanks on 9 hardpoints, 6 under the wings, 2 on the wingtips, and 1 under the fuselage. There are 2 more spots under the fuselage for sensor or radar pods. The F-16 is equipped with a 20mm M61A1 Vulcan cannon placed inside the fuselage to the left of the cockpit. The first engine chosen for the F-16 was the Pratt & Whitney F100PW200 afterburning turbofan. It was a modified version of the F-16's F100PW100, providing 28,830 pounds of thrust. However, during testing, this engine had issues with compressor stalls and rollbacks, where the thrust would suddenly drop to idle. To address this, the Air Force limited F-16s to flying within the distance they could glide for a dead-stick landing if needed. This engine was standard on the F-16 until Block 25, except for new Block 15s with the operational capability upgrade. The OCU introduced the F100PW220, offering 23,770 pounds of thrust and featuring a digital electronic engine control unit, which improved reliability and reduced stalls. Production from 1988 onwards used the 220 for commonality with the F-15. Many 220 engines on Block 25 were later upgraded to the 220E standard from 1997, reducing unscheduled engine removals by 35%. The F-16 is used by the active duty U.S. Air Force, the Air Force Reserve, and the Air National Guard units. It's also flown by the U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds for aerial demonstrations and by the U.S. Navy as an adversary-aggressor aircraft at the Naval Strike and Air Warfare Center. The U.S. Air Force, including the Reserve and National Guard, used the F-16 in combat during Operation Desert Storm in 1991 and in the Balkans later in the 1990s. The F-16s patrolled no-fly zones in Iraq during Operations Northern Watch and Southern Watch. It served in the war in Afghanistan and the war in Iraq from 2001 to 2003. In 2011, Air Force F-16s participated in the intervention in Libya. In 2009, Kimbrell was reassigned to the 6th Combat Training Squadron at Nellis Air Force Base. Here, she served as the course manager for the Air Liaison Officer Qualification Course and as an instructor. From this commission, she separated from active duty in the Air Force and transitioned to the Air Force Reserves in October 2013. Her list of accomplishments is impressive. She has received over 10 medals, including the Air Medal, which is given for single acts of heroism or meritorious achievement while participating in aerial flight. She also received the Meritorious Service Medal, Aerial Achievement Medal, Air Force Commendation Medal, Army Commendation Medal, National Defense Service Medal, Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, Iraq Campaign Medal, Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, and Korean Defense Service Medal. If a woman could take control of this powerful fighter jet that is feared by all, then there is little to no limit what women can achieve in aviation. Kimbrell is an inspiration for us all, but especially to those women who dream to reach for the stars and fly among them. Thanks for watching, guys. We really appreciate you coming along with us on this incredible story. In what way do you think the challenges faced by women in aviation can be addressed and resolved? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Also, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel, Valkyrie Defense. See you in the next one.